Hi, chemistry crew. It's Kara Lenorovitz, and welcome back. This is week number 5, or weekly learning plan number 5 of our second segment, and it's actually going to carry you through a period of 2 weeks. So you're receiving it today on February 15th. The work that we're going to talk about is going to be due on March 1st, and the reason for that, you'll hear me say it a couple of times, is to accommodate the differences we all have in our week of February break. So let's delve in a little bit to what that looks like. All right, so our housekeeping for this week, as you know, it's really important that you're paying attention to the weekly learning plan. Not only does it outline the assignments that you need to work on, but it also gives you some context for your learning and gives you some additional resources as well. So make sure you're checking that out. Thursday synchronous sessions, really important. Both this week and next week, we will not have a synchronous session, and that's because either you or I or your classmates will be on vacation. However, when we resume on the week of March 1st, we will go back to our weekly synchronous sessions on Thursdays from 9:30 to 10:15. So I'm very much looking forward to us all getting together again on March 4th. Office hours. I will be having office hours the week of February 15th. They are going to be at their usual times on Tuesday from 8:30 to 10:30 and Wednesday from 1 to 3. I encourage you and welcome you to sign up for a time if you'd love to check in and just get a little bit more support or get some questions clarified. Make sure you're reserving your time on the Canvas calendar. And if you do reserve a time, please make sure you're following through. When you do that reservation, it means somebody else can't access the help at that time. And then upcoming things, as we've been talking about, February break is on the horizon. You're going to be wrapping up Module 5 during this weekly learning plan, and you're going to be starting Module 6. So let's take a look at that. Again, context of the next couple of weeks, you just finished, hopefully all of you, your discussion-based assessment for Module 5 this past week. You've submitted your reflection, ideally, and you should be receiving from me with this weekly learning plan via email an access code to your Module 5 exam. If for some reason you have not submitted that reflection or you haven't completed your DBA, make sure you make that a top priority at the beginning of this week of the 15th. As I said, I will be working a regular week for the week of February 15th. You have work that is due on Monday as usual, your weekly learning plan number 4. You're going to have new work posted, this very assignment that we're talking about now. I will be available for office hours. We will not have a synchronous session. The following week, that's highlighted here in blue, as I've mentioned to you before, I will be out on vacation. So I will not be checking email. I will not hold office hours, and we will not have a synchronous session. So definitely make sure if you have questions that you want addressed that you're seeking me out during that week of the 15th. Again, we will all return together back to our normal schedule on Monday, March 1st. Your work that's assigned in this weekly learning plan will be due on that date, and you'll have a new weekly learning plan assigned. Again, we'll all get back together for our regular synchronous session on Thursday, March 4th. All right, so what about this week? What do you have going on for content? Well, as we just mentioned, you're going to take your stoichiometry exams. You're going to be wrapping up Module 5 with all that you've learned about moles, about mole ratios, about stoichiometry, converting from amount of one substance to amount of another in a balanced chemical equation, percent yield, theoretical yield, and limiting reactants. So you're going to apply all of that in that stoichiometry exam. Again, look for that access code in your email on Monday, assuming that you've turned in your DBA reflection. You're then going to shift gears just a little bit to deal with some content that you've probably explored in other contexts before you delved into chemistry this year. So you're going to be focusing on phase changes. I imagine a lot of you are going to be bringing with you some prior knowledge, which is excellent. This is definitely a good time of year to be thinking about phase changes. Probably many of us right now are recognizing that there's no way that water is going to undergo many phase changes at the temperatures outside, and most likely water is going to be in a solid. However, there are situations where even under these temperatures, water may melt into liquid form or may actually sublimate into gas. So you're going to be applying past knowledge, but then building some depth to your understanding about what's going on the molecular level when those changes happen. You are going to delve into what's called kinetic molecular theory in 6.01. You're going to be learning a little bit about kinetic energy, potential energy, and heat transfer and how that relates to phase changes. And then in 6.02, you're going to learn a little bit more about phase changes and how they are represented graphically. So one of the things you'll be doing is actually constructing a heating curve showing phase changes for hydrogen gas, making some pretty interesting connections to the idea of hydrogen fuel cells. So some fun projects and a quiz on your way. So we'll take a quick glance at the weekly learning plan. As usual, a little bit of context at the beginning just to get you started and make connections between your past and current learning. You'll see the learning objectives in this video, communication reminders, pacing reminders, and then your to-do list. So 4 jobs this week. I did include here for you a link to our DBA presentation. So if you'd like to go back and practice with that content and those style of questions before you take the exam, you are certainly welcome to. It will take you right into Pear Deck and you can practice on your own. You're going to be taking the stoichiometry exam. Make sure that you do your best work on that. I've included the resources that you're going to need other than a calculator. So make sure you bring a calculator and some scrap paper and a writing utensil and you'll be all set. Second job is to do the pre-test for Phases Matter. Again, I'm expecting lots of you are going to be bringing some prior knowledge with you, so I'd love for you to capture that and do your best with that. Remember, a pretest is only based on your best effort, so you're not going to earn a direct grade other than complete or incomplete. The third job, you're going to be delving into some more detail about what we mean by kinetic molecular theory, a really fancy name that you'll be able to throw around with some good vocabulary. When you finish taking the notes from that, you do have an optional lab to try out. I encourage you to give that a try just to spice things up a little bit, and then you're going to take a quiz. And then your fourth job is the phase changes activity. As you build your background knowledge, you're going to be taking some notes, and then the activity itself has 2 parts to it. The first part, you're going to be building a heating curve based on data that's provided for you. I want to remind you here that you really want to make sure you're paying attention to and using your best graphing skills. It's been a little while since we've done graphing, so there are some tips in the assignment description. Make sure you review those so that your graph is as strong as possible. The second part of that is you're going to be constructing a model, and you have a lot of choice here about that model that shows what happens with the interactions between the molecules at the different parts of that heating curve. So that model could be a 2-dimensional artistic structure. It could be 3-dimensional with actual objects. You could create a video. Lots and lots of options there, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Again, remember, we will not have a synchronous session this week or the following week, but we will resume them on the week of March 1st. So a reminder there about office hours again, they will happen this week, February 15th. They will not occur the week of February 22nd. So make sure you take advantage when you need them. In terms of upcoming stuff, when you return back in March, we're going to continue to work on Module 6. All right, so here's the quick recap. Again, this week, your work is due on March 1st. So make sure somewhere in that 2-week period of time, you do your work 1 week and you take your February break off the other week. For 5.09, your exam, make sure you've completed the DBA and submitted your DBA reflection, and be looking for that access code for the exam once you've done that in your email. You're going to be working on 6.00 and 6.02 once you finish that exam. Again, remember your good graphing skills, and definitely take your February vacation. We all deserve a little time away from our computers. Absolutely reach out for help. Remember, I will be available by email and during office hours the week of February 15th, but I will be unavailable from February 20th through 28th. I very much look forward to seeing you in March, and I hope you have good luck with this work and an excellent break as well. Take care and stay warm.